Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. 6:30 on this snowy Sunday morning. We take a live look outside. Thunder truck right there. Two perspectives we're looking at as we're heading into Woburn right now. You can see some of the snow is sticking to the highway surfaces, so just take it slow if you're headed out this morning. Depending on really where you live is how much snow you will get. And this is what a lot of you saw late last night. This is in Lowell here as the snow just started falling. The weather, of course, the big story this morning. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Jeff Saperstone. I'm
Lauren Melendez. You're watching NBC 10 Boston Weekend today. And of course, today, the big deal is snow. We're going to be saying it all morning. Here's a quick live look at the radar. This weather hung around last night. It'll likely be felt as well throughout the day, which means we're bringing you team coverage this morning. Our Mary Marcos, Jericho Tran, and Tevin Wooten, they are all standing by across various parts in eastern Massachusetts. But we got to kick things off right now with Chief Meteorologist Matt Noyes getting us started.
Well, thank you very much. Let's start with where we're at right now. We've got a band of snow that's pretty steady right over the Mass Turnpike. We think that may drift north slowly with time. In Boston, it's been mixed rain and snow right at the coastline. When you get farther to the west, notice the snow filling back in through upstate New York. We need to get that atmospheric energy through us, and when it comes through, it will create more bursts of snow. So the first alert continues during the day today. It's winter storm driving for many, though the best conditions are found south of Boston. The bursts of snow will continue today. I've been mentioning it's going to be akin to an outbreak of showers and thunderstorms in the summertime, where you get hit hard at times and it eases off at others. The road conditions have been varying in the snow, but generally worse the north and west you go, with a freeze expected from Boston to the south and east as we get into the afternoon, or midday to afternoon. So here is that one kind of band that's left over at Boston. That really is the show right now. You've got drier air kind of making inroads across the Mass-New Hampshire border, where it's 23 at Lawrence. So that's why it's so much different winter driving conditions north of Boston than it is south of Boston. Again, right at the coastline, you've got a mix, even though the radar shows all blue, but it is all snow along the Mass Pike through the Metro West out to our Storm Ranger mobile Doppler radar at the Worcester Regional Airport. Here's the break at the Mass-New Hampshire border up to Manchester. You pick the steady snow up again around Concord, and it's been mostly really sloppy snow or raindrops when you get south and east of town, and that's why when you look at road conditions, really the farther southeast you go, the better it is. The farther northwest you go, it's just downright tough winter storm conditions. Your report so far, I can't thank you enough. Keep them coming in. Been getting them in all sorts of social media, getting them on email. You're wonderful. We've got 8 to 12 inches on the ground right now in the purple area that you see, a broad area of 6 to 8, and then less as you come in toward the coastline and right along the shore. So where do we go from here? That cold air in the Merrimack Valley and out by Worcester kind of stays north and west of town, but look at it coming into Framingham. Timestamp at the upper right by 12:15. Boston shortly thereafter. That's your freeze. That's when the roads go downhill again. And you can see what I mean about this kind of smattering of snow coming and going. So additional expected snow on top of what you have is 1 to 2 in the area in white that comes later in the day. It's going to be generally about 2 to 4 in the blue that goes in through Boston, although right at the coastline there would be less at the immediate shoreline. And north and west, you may get an additional 4 to 6, again, with some of these bursts that continue to move through. I'll be back with more on the forecast standpoint in a couple of minutes, but I know we've got it covered in the field. Back over to you.
Oh, you know we do, Matt. Thank you so much. All right, so kids, they don't get a snow day. But if you want to make a snowman, man, you should head to Leominster leading up to the storm. So many preparations on there. That is where we see the highest snowfall totals.
Yeah, and Leominster, of course, is a spot that's seen a lot of weather this past year. Tevin Wooten is there this morning. Tevin, what's it looking like right now?
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Lauren. Yeah, Jeff, I'm glad you mentioned the host or the myriad of weather conditions that we've seen here in Leominster over the past 6 to 8 months. Of course, going back to September and October, we had that state of emergency declared because of the catastrophic flooding here in Leominster. Today, it is a much different story. We're looking at perhaps the first sizable snowstorm of the season for Leominster in central Massachusetts. This is some of the videos we were driving in to get to Leominster about 2.5 hours ago. You see the organ donor, the passenger, van there, rather, letting the plows lead the way. I hope to heck that they make it to exactly where they need to go for more than obvious reasons. We can only hope and pray that they did safely. And then after that, there were slushy conditions once we hit Route 2. Plows were certainly pushing through as well, really right around 3:30 this morning. And then, of course, once we got to Leominster, a lot of the roads were paved, in part because the mayor was actually saying that they have about 50 private plows and also 50 city plows, too. So they have a whole host, a whole fleet, if you will, of plows. I don't think a second has gone by where we have not seen a plow. There's one right there, although the plow is not down on the ground. But you can hear those tires that are coming through. You can hear sort of the slush that they're encountering right now. And I think in total for the day today, we should be okay in terms of getting where you need to go. If you are in Leominster, really stay home if you can. But if you have to go somewhere, I understand that, you need to travel. I think on the roadways, for now, we're fine. It is later on tonight where what you see on the road that will really start to chunk up, if you will, because of the deep freeze that we're likely to see. Right now, it's really just caked on the top layer of the ground. It has been difficult for some of the plows to get to the blacktop just because there is still a little bit of moisture content on some of this, but you really have to dig at it. And even then, so you can't see it with the naked eye, there's a thin layer about the size of your fingernail on top of that, and it's that starts to freeze up. And some of that has happened just because of the compaction of the snow that's on top of it. But this is a really light and fluffy snow. I mean, it can't cause too much harm on top of the roadways. But again, if you don't get to it, if you don't attack it like the plows have been doing here in Leominster all day, then that is when the issues really start to add up as we get deeper into the evening today, when the system should start to wane. Still another 4 to 6 inches of snowfall to go. I think we're hitting a lull right now with a dry slot, but some of that energy does push back through as we round out the afternoon and the evening hours. We spoke to the mayor last night, by the way, kids. If you're hoping for a snow day, keep hoping. It's not happening tomorrow just because the storm is ending so early today, too. So that allows a lot of the city crews to get out and get to the streets and get to the snow as they need to. That's the latest here from Leominster. Let's head back to you guys in the studio. Jeff, Lauren.
Tevin, thank you so much for that comprehensive look at the Leominster area. We want to talk about this, though. Slick roads last night being blamed for this rollover crash. This is in Reading. It happened on Main Street. It took down a power pole. Police say that it is a good reminder to take it slow, of course, during this winter weather.
Look, it's been tough getting around, as you can see there in Reading as well, and it's only gotten worse as we take a live look at Thunder Truck here in Woburn, going on some of the local streets there. You can see the difference from the highway to some of those local areas where the snow is sticking even further. So what are the roads looking like in central Massachusetts? NBC 10's Mary Marcos live in Worcester this morning. Mary, what do travelers need to know?
Well, they need to know that it's really slippery out there. I mean, it goes without saying almost, but on our way here, it took us about an hour and a half to get here at the very least for what would normally be probably a 40-minute drive. And the major highways, I have to tell you, are just covered in snow. Even though you do see the plow trucks out there, there's still a lot of snow on the highways, and it's a little bit scary to drive on, to be honest with you. Now, I want to show you the roads here in Worcester. Still, again, a layer of snow all over the roads, and we're on a bit of a hill here, so that can kind of increase the risk there. So you want to take it extra slow, even though those plows are out there treating the roads. We've seen them consistently this morning. When road conditions get like this, things can get dangerous.
Considering this is the first most notable storm, people are oftentimes not prepared. So therefore, their cars are not prepared, and that is, in fact, a topic of discussion. And
we have some safety tips for those of you who do have to hit the roads. First, be sure to clear all the snow and ice from your windows, lights, hoods, and roof. Second, make sure to leave extra room between you and the car in front of you for braking and stopping. Third, don't crowd the plow. Give the crews the space they need to do their work. And finally, plan ahead. Expect travel to be slow going. So as you can see here in Worcester, travel is slow going and the snow is still coming down. We are expecting to get a total of about 8 inches of snow here in Worcester. And of course, we'll keep you live as the storm rolls through here. We're live in Worcester. Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
Mary, thank you so much for that. You may want to get your car off the street in some cities and towns. As several areas, they've already issued parking bans. We have a few of them listed on your screen right there. For more details on all of the parking bans, of course, you can go to our website. And other options and places that you can park your car, just head to NBC10Boston.com. Meanwhile, the last thing you want to happen during this storm, a power outage. We have a map of Eversource power outage here. Just about 12,000 customers without power. So, of course, with the snow still coming down heavy in many areas, power crews, they're going to be busy. They're going to be on the roads as well. So NBC 10's Jericho Tran, she's in Haverhill. Jericho, we saw a lot of snow. Those power lines already sagging. It's covering you. So what are you seeing right now?
Listen, the snow is not letting up. Still about 5% of National Grid customers here in Haverhill without power. However, I will say that has been consistent over the last 2 hours. So it doesn't look like the number's going up. It's just not going down either. But I want to show you guys this. Take a look. Snow pile, super huge. And the snow is still coming down. This is way taller than us. Take a look at the snow that's coming off of this. You can see it's very powdery, very light snow. So a lot of snow that we're seeing. This is just from maybe, I don't know, a half of a parking lot. This is really not from the entire parking lot. And you can see how much snow is already here. A lot of snow. I also want to show you plows have been hard at work. So I'm going to try to trek over here. Watch your step there, Tony. There's a lot of snow, but plows have been really working. This is one of the snow banks you can see. They're pulling up all of that snow from the road. But even with that, take a look at the road. You still got a lot of snow on the road, which means, folks, yes, you may see the plows outside. Hey, guys, but you definitely want to make sure that you are taking it slow because those roads are still pretty tricky. On the way up here, we took 95 to 93 to 495. There were plows on all of those highways, but the roads were still not great. So take it slow out there. This is not the day to be speeding out through the snow. You can see once again, just that light, powdery snow. Definitely the day to make a snowman if you wanted to. This is, you know, the great snow for that. I want to show you just how deep this is. This is my leg here. You can see this takes up most of my leg. That is the snowbank. Just walking through the sidewalk here, it goes up to about, I don't know, maybe half of my shin. So it's pretty deep snow. And it's not stopping, as you can see, still smacking me in the face with all of this wind. So snow is not stopping. You got those really thick flakes. But as you're waking up on this Sunday morning, just make sure that maybe take out the snowblower, the shovel, dust off your cars. You're going to have a lot of work to do because there's at least several inches of snow on top of your cars. But that's the very latest in Haverhill. Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, Jericho, thank you so much. Don't forget, you can track the storm right on your phone anytime. Very handy today. Just scan that QR code to download the NBC 10 Boston app. You'll have access to our radar, the 10-day forecast. Plus, you can set it to get those severe weather alerts for where you live.
All right, you hear the music. You know what that means. Today is it for the New England Patriots. Their final game is this afternoon. It's expected to be a cold one, of course, too, in Foxborough today. That's against the Jets. But it's leading up to today that the focus has been on, of course, head coach Bill Belichick. At 4-12, let me say that again, 4-12. This has been the worst season he has ever had with the team. ESPN now reporting that Belichick and the Crafts will be meeting on Monday to go over this past season and weigh his options for the future. Belichick, as every time we ask him, his focus is just on today's game.
I've always appreciated the opportunity, and just looking forward to tomorrow's game or Sunday's game against the Jets, and like I said, trying to put our best game out there this year. Sure, there'll be another time to talk about other things, but right now we're just trying to focus on the Jets.
Well, during the height of the Belichick era, the Pats won 6 Super Bowls. Today's game kicks off 1 p.m. in Foxborough. Still to come here, new year, same old crime.
Up next this morning, scammers have set their sights on your personal information, how you can protect yourself from identity theft in the new year.
Plus, of course, we are tracking the snow outside. Matt is going to bring you a full timeline of that system, so don't go anywhere.